We were discussing this morning if Tennessee players should be upset about getting $600. $600 is what they get from the new EA Sports game. I got no problem with that. Caleb had a big problem with that. What is your issue with them getting only $600?
Oh, I actually don't have a problem with it. I think it's righteous, but I think if you are a Tennessee or your players, you should look out for yourself and not care about anybody else. And I think Tennessee had the leverage to demand a heck of a lot more money from EA Sports College Football 25. I do. I think they and their players should have set out and said, you can't use us until you triple that, just for the heck of it. In an age of NIL, where Danny White has this fundraising goal, you got to find ways to raise money as much as possible. The school should have charged way more for their licensing fees than every other school. I'm sorry. You should have to pay more they should sit there and say, you should pay more for us than you're paying for James Madison. You should.
Here's where you got a problem and why people aren't going to agree with this take. And I'm talking about people in power positions. This is the type of money that keeps everybody happy. This is the type of money that is not life-changing. We're talking about $600. We know that. $600 in a month. It's not life-changing, but it keeps the guys that don't play a lot happy. So I think it's important that's what Spire Sports does. There is a retainer that basically, if you come to Tennessee, you're going to get a minimum amount. So I think that you take that amount and the player's happy getting $600 and gets to play with himself on the game. That brings back a memory from SEC media days. By the way, who was just a quick break? Who was the running back from LSU? Really talented, light, agile, about
Joseph
15.
Adai?
Yes, it was Joseph Adai. And I said, what about the Madden game? Have you played it yet? You're like an 89 on it. He goes, yeah, I love playing the game. It's just so fun when I play with myself. That should have been a drop. I should have never let that go. It's $600. And Dylan brings up a point. I mean, $600 across every single FBS and some FCS athletes is a chunk of change. That is a chunk of change. I mean, Caleb, you're right philosophically, but here's where you're wrong. Pragmatically, you can't sit them out. What is Nico? What are you going to tell Nico? You got one guy who's already rich, okay? And Nico's rich. And he's going to say, I don't get to play with myself on the game. You've got another guy who's scrambling to go to Taco Bell, Arian Foster style. You're going to tell him he can't have $600? That's going to be a tough sell. I don't know if there's a middle of the road guy, a player on Tennessee's roster that goes, yeah, stick it to him. Let's get more. I think it's a really tough sell. What I think is more interesting, Caleb, feels like a union to me, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel like this was collectively bargained on?
It was absolutely collectively bargained on.
So why can't we keep doing that into the future soon?
Dave, you're mistaking what I think is philosophically right with what I think Tennessee. Hold on.
I just absolutely love how Caleb, instead of, he just got to point out what I'm wrong on. I was so right there, Caleb.
You are mistaking what I think is philosophically right with what I think Tennessee should do. I don't think Tennessee should do what's philosophically right. That's my point. Yes, it's philosophically right that everybody get paid equally. But Dave, my point is Tennessee. If you're Tennessee, do you look out for yourself or do you look out for the health of college football? Do you look out for yourself or what's philosophical? No, you look out for yourself. You look out for yourself as a school. So here's where I'm at. It is philosophically right what they did. I am totally fine with it. And people complaining that the players are underpaid on a philosophical level make no sense. I'm not complaining about it. I'm saying from Tennessee's perspective, they should say, screw what's philosophically right. Let's get more money. EA Sports College Football 25 can't do this without us. They need us. And they should hold out and demand more money. And in an age of NIL, when Danny White has a fundraising goal of $500 million, this is a way to get it. And it shows, by the way, in the height of this NIL lawsuit that Tennessee is filing, that they are backing their players even further. Because then I think personally,
I don't think this should be viewed as backing their players at all. If they set out for more money, I don't think that would at all. I don't think that speaks to most players. I don't see that, Caleb.
I think it could. I think they could have commanded $1,200 for all their players. I think they should just do it for the heck of it and give a giant middle finger to everybody because by the way, not because it's right, but because they can. I think sometimes you should do what you can. I don't think I think When you are a big dog, like Tennessee is, you do what you can. You don't do what's right. And you look out for yourself and you don't care about anybody else. That's their business if they suck. And it's college football's business if they can't get it right. It's your business to maximize your own revenue. And who cares what it does to everybody else? Look out for yourself.
No, that's a little too simplistic. I'm going to tell you why. It's 4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. Imagine having the best spas made right here in the United States of America in your backyard. Dynasty Pools and Spas. Their showroom is open in Athens, right off the interstate. You can stop by and check out the best hot tubs and spas in the market. And delivery, yes, they can do that to Knoxville or Chattanooga. They've got complete support, spa cover, and chemicals to keep your spa bubbling at its best. They also have pool chemicals as well. Dynasty Pools and Spas, amazing discounts for first responders, military, and even some blemish models that can save you a ton, and no one will ever notice. Mention Off the Hook Sports, get $500 off. Mention Off the Hook Sports, get $500 off. Dynasty Pools and Spas. Go to dynastypoolsandspas.com or stop by that showroom in Athens. dynastypoolsandspas.com. Dynasty Pools and Spas. All right, so Caleb's saying that the players should sit on the streets to demand more money. Would you like for them to picket? Should they have pickets with them?
No, this isn't a protest. No, this is Danny White. I'm more talking about, by the way, you're just thinking from the player's perspective. You know, the school had to license their name too, right? They had to license their name and Neyland Stadium and all that. EA Sports had to pay for that.
Right.
I'm saying the school should have held out for more money. I'm saying the school, whatever the number was that got all 134 FBS schools in there, Tennessee should have gone there and said, hey, you want to use our name? You pay us double.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because do you think the video game could exist without Tennessee? It can't.
No, they would do, and Dylan's pointed that out online. They would do NCAA 25 would have the Tennessee Orange team led by head coach, Coach Default. That's exactly what it would be. It would be awful and embarrassing.
No,
and
then Tennessee sues.
Wait a second. Caleb, it's going to look like Tennessee doesn't have their stuff together if they were to do something like that. It's a crazy idea. Let's be honest.
No, I don't. I think if they do that, Tennessee could easily sue and say, you're still basically using our name, image, and likeness, even though you're licensing our name, even though you're not officially licensing it. I think Tennessee would absolutely win that lawsuit in court. Okay. I am telling you guys right now, Danny White should have said F you to the NCAA and not the NCAA, to the EA Sports video game, and said, I want more money for my school. My school's worth more than Vanderbilt. So you should pay us more to be licensed than you pay Vanderbilt.
Kalen was nice enough to pull this number up for us. A huge chunk of money already at 600, roughly around $8.4 million for the players. I don't see how you can get to a philosophical. This is one of the things I've come across. There's no philosophical resolution. What you're saying philosophically makes sense. But what I'm saying, in that you still get your $600, you get to play with yourself on the video game, is pretty cool. Right. And let me ask you, if the Vols, everybody on the message board, just watch this and listen to this. Even you, Travis, who says, I agree with Caleb. EA Sports made an absolute fortune off colleges and kids for a decade. Okay. But here's the thing that you have to remember is that Tennessee ultimately wants that exposure. They want Nico on that video game. Caleb, I would pay $600 for you to be the head coach of Tennessee right now on the video game. You don't have any duties other than I just get to use your name because it would promote what we do. So I would pay $600, not have to get you paid $600. You would pay $600 too to be on that game.
Okay, hold on. There's a
cool factor. Guests don't pay to go to the Howard Stern show. They don't.
Wait. Hold on. I would pay that too because we look, I'm just going to keep it real. We would love the promotion. It would be good for us. Tennessee doesn't need the promotion. Tennessee doesn't need the promotion at all. Okay? Tennessee was a blue blood football program with a giant fan base before this video game ever existed 30 years ago. They were a blue blood when this thing wasn't in existence for 10 years and they were going through a decade of dysfunction. They're fine. By the way, I got to make this clear to you. I have to make this clear. Because you keep saying philosophically you agree. This is not a philosophical thought of mine. I don't philosophically think this is right. I just think they should do it.
Well, I don't have a problem with chaos. I enjoy chaos. That's always fun.
I'm an agent of chaos.
At the end of the day, you would have players that would be unhappy. You would have coaches that frankly don't care, don't play the video game. You would have players that were unhappy.
Well, the coaches aren't in the video game, by the way. That's something that I think they didn't want to pay the coaches because like you can't pay for Josh Heupel. Like that's that's one of the funny things about this game is the coaches aren't in it, probably because the coaches would have had to command more. But
Message board. I want to address the guys on the message board real quick. Are you excited about this video game? I will be honest with you. I am, because it hasn't been around. My son's 19 years old. It hasn't been around long enough, Caleb, for him to play it. And that's unfortunate. So are you going to play it? Are you excited about it? I will be there the first day to buy it, download it, whatever you do.
I probably am not going to play it because I will have a newborn and be working on the show when this game comes. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Okay, I probably am not going to have time to play this game as much as I want to. So
Dylan says, Dylan, are you good? Because we need a representation of someone. We thought about doing this with my son, playing my son. We would have him be Tennessee so that Tennessee would win. I know that would make you guys happier. And then I would play the other team. Do you think I have a chance to win one game? Basically, he's so much better than me. I have it all hanging on the Georgia game. It's weird to look at it from the other perspective.
I'll actually give you something real quick because I thought about this.
I'm horrible at it compared to him, Caleb. Don't say something that you can't back up.
No. I thought about this. There is one argument that the smaller schools could make that they're as valuable as the bigger schools. You know what it is?
What is that?
Dynasty mode. I mean, the Dynasty mode, we always like to pick the crappiest school possible, didn't we? To try to rebuild it into a powerhouse. Who did that back in the day? Who picked like Florida International, as I did, and tried to turn Florida International into a dynasty?
Did you try to turn them into a dynasty?
Oh, I successfully turned them into a dynasty. I was a 3-time national champion at Florida International, and I forget which game, but you could switch conferences, and I got an ACC invite. Yeah, that's right. Because I was a heck of a coach at Florida International.
Well, say goodbye to that free time because you've got about 3 more months of it. June, a big month for, is it July?
Yeah, but right when the game comes out, I will have a newborn in June. So this thing I'm not going to have time to play the game.
We will have me taking on my son, whose initials are TD. So that's very appropriate. How about that?